Tonight, getting ready to hunker down, Blackfeet tribal members prepare for a 2-week quarantine. Plus,
I'm Mike Dennison in Helena. Coming up, we'll fact check the latest attack ads in Montana's U.S. House race.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
thanks for trusting MTN on this Friday. I'm Tim McGonigal. Hallie Schwinnard is off tonight. Well, Montana reported 5 additional COVID-19 related deaths today. The deaths included 1 in Yellowstone County, 3 in Roosevelt County, and 1 in Wheatland County. These deaths bring the statewide death total to 170. The deaths come as health officials recorded another 323 confirmed cases, with more than 2,700 currently active cases. Currently, 140 people are hospitalized by the virus. Around 75% of the people in Montana who have become infected have recovered. And Lewis and Clark County has released more details behind a recent spike in cases in the county. On Thursday, the county reported at least 27 new cases. That was the highest one-day total since the first case was reported in Lewis and Clark County on March 20th. It represents a nearly 10% increase in total cases. Another 7 cases were reported today. The county says at least some of the new cases are tied to congregate settings like schools or detention centers. County Health Officer Drenda Neiman says anyone who is experiencing symptoms should get tested and stay at home. The Lewis and Clark County Sheriff's Office reports 7 new cases tied to the detention center, including 6 staff and 1 inmate. All staff have been tested, as well as 2/3 of inmates. Well, tonight, tribal members on the Blackfeet Reservation are bracing for a 14-day lockdown. Tribal council members met this morning to hash out the details. MTN's Zach Shermley was in Browning today, just 2 days before the shutdown is set to begin.
We're building the plane as it's flying.
Over the last 2 weeks, there's been a spike in coronavirus cases on the Blackfeet Reservation. There are 90 active cases on the reservation, with hundreds of people in quarantine.
We don't know what to expect from day to day.
The Blackfeet Tribal Council approved the 14-day shutdown on Thursday at the request of public health officials. Blackfeet Tribal Council members are still deliberating about what the measure is going to look like.
And the term shutdown can be taken many different ways, and that's what we're trying to clarify is it shutdown or lockdown? And we should have some answers for the community and the public here within the next day or two.
Non-essential outings will be discouraged, and people are getting ready.
Getting prepared for the shutdown that's supposed to happen on Sunday.
I'm here at Glacier Family Foods, where people are stocking up on perishable items, things like meat and ham.
This has been a challenge. We have started taking precautions right from the very beginning.
Although the details are still being hashed out by tribal officials, people will be allowed outside of their homes for essential outings, and violation enforcement will be handled on a case-by-case basis. But McNeely says it's all about the end goal.
But that 14-day time frame should curb things, and that's the goal of this.
It's a little stressful, but we're here for our people.
In Browning, Zach Shermley, MTN News.
The Browning Public Schools Board of Trustees announced today that they will continue with distance learning during the shutdown. They'll be delivering meals to students once a week. Well, a federal judge has ruled that the deadline for the 2020 census must be extended. The deadline would have been September 30th, but the once-a-decade nationwide count will now continue until the end of October. With more on what this means for Montanans, here's MTN's Matt Holzappel.
If you haven't filled out your 2020 census form yet, well, now you have an extra month. California District Judge Lucy Koh passed a preliminary injunction late Thursday night that extends the deadline to October 31st. Here's what Montana officials had to say about what that means for the Treasure State.
It's a great court case and the outcome is good. But again, we are still going to just plow forward, putting every bit of emphasis we can to getting into areas where we know we have we have additional challenges.
Gathering census data was a unique challenge this year due to COVID-19. On August 3rd, the U.S. Census Bureau announced that self-response and field data collection efforts would end by September 30th.
We're a little bit below the national average, but we don't want to be there. That's why it's going to be so important that we use every day till the very end in order to keep reaching out in those hard-to-count areas.
Even with increased efforts and additional state money to promote the census, there were concerns that there wasn't enough time to count everyone before the deadline was extended.
Everything that we had planned, a number of major events throughout the state, And when we're talking major events, we're talking about bringing people together and having big events. Well, with COVID, we couldn't do that anymore.
I reached out to Mike Cooney's opponent in the upcoming gubernatorial election, Greg Gianforte, as well. Although he wasn't available for an interview today, his camp did send us this statement. With so much at stake for Montana, from getting our fair share of federal funding to more representation in Congress, Greg believes all Montanans must be counted fully and accurately, and thinks the census deadline should be October 31st. In Great Falls, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
Well, we're tracking a somewhat cooler weekend, and here with our first forecast is MTN's Elizabeth Copeland.
We're heading into the weekend with some pretty soggy conditions out there. Rain now moving into north central northeast Montana. These are very light showers. You see how light that green is. A lot of these not even making it to the ground, but the showers that are making it to the ground are kind of those nuisance showers where we see them move in and out pretty quickly in the forecast. Definitely getting the concrete wet and the grass wet, so probably not a great time to mow the grass tonight or even tomorrow, and definitely leaving the towel by the back door to wipe off the dog's paws. So we're seeing the rain and the clouds across our Opportunity Bank ICAM in the capital city. See that nice big dark cloud just above the ICAM there. And we're going to continue seeing these showers in the forecast through Friday evening. So tomorrow, as you head out the door, we're still going to see a lot more of those showers in the forecast through Saturday afternoon. And really, we're going to keep those showers in the forecast even through Sunday. 60 degrees on Saturday afternoon, so much cooler than average. Another cooler day on Sunday as well, partly cloudy there. But we do have another chance of spotty showers on Saturday we'll tell you about coming up here shortly.
Well, U.S. House candidates Matt Rosendale and Kathleen Williams will square off tomorrow night in a debate sponsored by MTN, and it can be seen on MTN stations. In advance of that debate, MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison took a closer look at the facts behind the rhetoric of the first TV attack ads rolled out by each candidate.
Republican Matt Rosendale's ad doesn't mince words in describing Democrat Williams.
The real Kathleen Williams, a radical activist and liberal from San Francisco.
Williams was born in an Army hospital in San Francisco and grew up in the Bay Area. But radical activist? She's lived in Montana since 1999, and her career has been as a researcher and advocate on water and land policy and conservation. The main events in this ad, however, are guns and law enforcement.
Kathleen Williams backs gun control and says she's proud to earn an F from the NRA. And while businesses are looted and destroyed, the Williams Coalition pushes to defund the police.
Williams does have an F rating from the NRA and said in her 2018 campaign for this same office that she's proud to have it and that it stood for fearless. She supports universal background checks for firearm purchases and says she'd consider restricting the ownership or use of high-capacity magazines. But she has never said she supports defunding the police and is opposed to it. The Rosendale campaign says its ad is referring to groups that support Williams and also support the defund the police movement. In Williams' ad, she says this about Rosendale's background.
Some things just don't fit, like my millionaire opponent in Montana. He's pushed an agenda to help land developers, like himself.
Rosendale's financial disclosure statement says he has assets worth between $10 million and $50 million. And he has worked as a housing and land developer, both in Maryland, where he grew up, and in Montana, where he moved to in 2002. As a legislator, he voted for a pair of bills supported by developers to narrow local review of proposed subdivisions, bills that passed but were vetoed by Democratic Governor Brian Schweitzer. But then we have this from Williams.
And he took thousands from the insurance industry and would let them raise our premiums and deny coverage for pre-existing conditions.
That latter claim is based on Rosendale's call to repeal the 2010 Affordable Care Act, President Obama's landmark health care bill. That law bars insurers from discriminating against people with pre-existing health conditions. Rosendale has received campaign donations from insurers, but it's a tiny fraction of his total money. And as state insurance commissioner, he's taken steps to lower insurance premiums, such as his push for a 2019 reinsurance law. He also says he supports maintaining protections for those with pre-existing conditions. So, some truth in these ads, and some exaggeration, and some misleading statements as well. Tune in Saturday night, and we'll be asking about some of these claims, and you'll hear it straight from the candidates. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Tomorrow's debate begins at 6 o'clock. It can be seen right here on MTN. It kicks off a series of debates that will also include the races for governor and U.S. Senate. You can also watch with the KRTV streaming app for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or Android TV. When we come,
Montana's news leader,
top
you're
cancer
watching
and
the
updates on
MTN
an
530
unforgettable
News.
horseback ride.
Montanans see plenty of these, but there seems to be a permanent roadblock in Washington. So many politicians follow their parties so blindly that
Has a big check to help fight the disease thanks to a journey by 3 local college students on horseback. Now, you may remember we first told you about the young men back in July, shortly after they set off. MTN's Coulter Anstad tells us how much money they raised and how much of a difference it could make.
With a small crowd and big smiles, Harry Green, Keegan Stroop, and Troy Hennis presented the Sletton Cancer Institute and the American Cancer Society with checks for $10,000 Friday afternoon.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Green, Stroop, and Hennis have come a long way.
Originally it was like going to be about 500 miles across the state of Montana from south to north.
Their journey ended up being closer to 600 miles, and it wasn't easy.
There was definitely moments where it tested us a little bit. At the beginning, it actually rained and snowed on us for 7 days straight.
Combined, they also drove hundreds of miles home from college Friday to be at the ceremony.
You know, it's crazy how much faster it goes when you're driving than when you're riding. Yeah.
Sletton Cancer Institute Director April Spanbauer says the ripple effect the check's impact will have makes it worth more than its monetary value.
We're able to update technologies here, able to buy new equipment, and also able to provide continuing education for our staff.
The original goal was to raise $20,000 for the Institute, the American Cancer Society, and a nonprofit called Anna's Home. But thanks to a horse auction the young men held last month, each organization is receiving $10,000, and money is still coming in.
That was pretty incredible. I don't know if any of us expected to be able to raise that much.
You could say the young men are living up to their motto, cancer is tough, cowboys are tougher.
If there's any message, it's just, you know, we're going to go through these hard times, but, you know, like with hard work and, you know, just a fighting spirit, we can get through.
In Great Falls, Coulter Anstad, MTN News.
The state of Montana's annual surplus sale is going on as scheduled this weekend. The format is much different than in past years. Every fall, the General Services Division sells off vehicles and other equipment that state agencies are no longer using. Usually there's a live auction at the state surplus yard. This year, because of COVID-19, they've switched to an online auction. Today, the public was allowed to preview the available items, more than 500 lots available to bid on. From cars and trucks to boats and snowplows to tools and machinery. Leaders say they've received bids for every item since it's online. They've seen interest from as far away as New Jersey.
Showers moving in and out of the forecast for north central Montana. We track one more round before clearing up in the weekend, coming up next.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Elizabeth Copeland.
Welcome back on this Friday evening. Thanks again for letting me fill in for you for north central northeast Montana, where today we're bringing in the weekend on a cooler note and also a rainy note. There's not widespread showers in the forecast, kind of like yesterday when that cold front moved through. We're still breezy out there, though. We still are much cooler. We have that cloud cover and even some spotty showers in the forecast. So Glasgow just recently getting those clouds right back over the northeast corner as they slowly built in from the west. A few showers now scraping across the Highline, across Cut Bank into Havre. And a few of those showers are still lingering across the southwest as well. So we're still going to see that moisture jump over the Rocky Mountain front, bringing not only very cloudy conditions, but also some rainy conditions to the Rocky Mountain front all the way from Browning down to Choteau, Augusta. So we'll see those showers remaining in the forecast as a few of those light ones still building through the capital city right now and then pushing through Nighthart and then up through Fergus County, where a little bit more of those moderate showers are falling. You can tell there by those darker greens that have kind of pushed to the east. So while we kind of situate ourselves between mostly cloudy conditions and light showers in the forecast, we're actually seeing much cooler air where those clouds built in earlier today. So western Montana, central Montana, we're holding steady in the 50s and 60s. That's a good bit below average, but where those clouds just moved in within the last hour or so, we're still in the 70s there. So that's why there's a big contrast in temperatures from eastern Montana to western Montana, because those clouds actually moved in to the east a little little later in the afternoon, allowing a little sunshine to warm us up across the northeast corner. But we're all staying pretty windy this afternoon, especially just east of the Rocky Mountains. So really across the Rocky Mountain front, we're still seeing those very windy conditions, pretty typical there though. And then 30-40 mile per hour gusts possible across north central Montana, 30-25 mile per hour gusts across the High Line. Another very windy weekend is in the forecast for us because we're not done with that wind just yet. Matter of fact, we're still going to see that wind through Saturday afternoon, still breezy through Monday as well. So we're still dealing with that wind and cooler weather for the next couple of days at least, and not even just the wind, but also the precipitation. Heading closer to the divide, we actually still have a 50% chance of those showers on Saturday. So that W there stands for west, kind of west of Great Falls, closer to the divide, Augusta, Choteau, even the capital city at Helena. And then we have a few spotty showers to deal with on Sunday, but then high pressure builds in. That's why we're going to stay dry through next week, seeing a lot more of that sunshine. So tracking it out kind of hour by hour here, at least the main points of the hours. Overnight Friday, if you have late night plans, you're going to stay mostly dry. There's going to be a few showers across northeast corner, but really those showers stay west of the divide for most of the evening. At least the heavier showers do. And then as we head out, at least tomorrow morning, early through the early morning hours, at least if you work overnights in the capital city, we're definitely running into showers there, or a late night drive from Great Falls down to Butte. We're going to see some showers there as well. Probably heavier showers than we saw this afternoon. Actually, by the overnight hours and early morning hours, though, we clear out. Saturday morning, going to see some more sunshine, a few showers possible across the northeast corner. So overall, we still got some rain to go. We're not quite done yet. We still have 61 on Saturday with a few isolated showers here and there. Again, mostly to the west of Great Falls. That includes places like Helena, Butte, and even closer to the Choteau area, 60 degrees on Sunday. And then that high pressure moves in. That's where we're going to see that sunshine start to return. The clouds move out. Warmer weather moves back in as well. So we go from the 50s and rainy on Saturday afternoon to the 70s and sunny by next Friday.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The Belt football team is off to a good start, and a big reason why is the young lady leading the cheers. Her inspirational story is next. One senior cheerleader is living proof that nothing is impossible. Our Tom Wiley introduces us to the Huskies' biggest fan.
As the cheerleading coach at Belt High School, Andrea Viskin can teach routines. She can teach chants, but she cannot teach spirits. And luckily, senior cheerleader Madison Lords has enough for the entire gym.
She's probably the biggest Husky fan at Belt School. When the Huskies are winning, she's hyped up. When the Huskies are down, she gets really upset. So she loves to cheer for the Huskies, and it's just so much fun to watch her.
Husky Nation!
Madison, or Mad Dog, as her class calls her. Do you like when they call you Mad Dog?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like it.
Lives with Down syndrome. That's never stopped her from showcasing her Husky pride and putting smiles on faces during every Belt athletic event.
We were thinking about a sport that Madison could do, and she was always coming to the games anyway, and she just really got into the dance part and the music part, and it just was a great fit for her. Also, she's a people person.
Madison enjoys the spotlight, well, until the cameras start rolling. Could you do a cheer for me?
No.
No, okay. With her senior besties, Anna and Samantha by her side, she's happy to oblige.
Well, to go, jam on my whip.
In today's world, many people with intellectual disabilities still struggle with discrimination and inclusion, but not Madison and not in Belt.
It's a perfect place for Madison. We have never, ever, ever had a problem with bullying. Actually, she's probably more likely to bully other kids, but the teachers take care of her, her senior class takes care of her.
And the love between Madison and Belt goes both ways. There's nothing she can't do with the Huskies by her side.
Like all my cheerleaders, we do it all together.
Oh yeah, she does everything that, she can possibly do. She loves to dance, and that's one of the most fun things to watch her do.
We could all stand to learn a bit from Madison's example.
The best friends.
Oh yeah.
In Belt, Tom Wiley, MTN Sports.
And Madison also competes in Special Olympics, where she enjoys downhill skiing. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
We'll have a few showers mostly west of Great Falls on Saturday morning, early morning hours at least. And then we start to see a little more sunshine through the afternoon. High pressure builds in through next week, and that's why we go from those cooler and rainy conditions in Helena on Saturday to sunny and warmer conditions on Friday of next week as we jump to 75.
New numbers from Montana State Parks managers confirm what park users have been noticing this pandemic year, namely that parks have been much busier than usual. Once some of the lockdowns started to end back at the start of summer, people rushed to get outside, and Montana Parks saw a steady stream of visitors all season long. New numbers from FWP saw visitation up 25% compared with the same January through June period last year, and Giant Springs State Park in Great Falls, the most visited park during that stretch, with a 7% jump. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock.